Hey, welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be discussing like terms, right, with unlike terms, and also we'll be solving equations with like terms. So what are like terms? These are terms, right, which has the same variables and they can either be added or subtracted together. So I mentioned in previous videos that a term is when you have a coefficient and a variable together, right? A coefficient and a variable makes a term. So the coefficient would be the number which comes before the variable, and the variables are the letters. So therefore, a coefficient and a variable together makes a term. All right. So now let's proceed. So an example of like term, right? As we mentioned, these are terms which has the same variable. These can either be added or subtracted together. So 5x and 6x, these are like terms because they have the same variable of x, right? So this can be added together and give you 11x. Also, another example could be 21 BC plus 10 BC, right? Both of these have the same variable of BC, right? So therefore, they can be added together. So 21 BC plus 10 BC will give you 31 BC, right? Yes. Let's say if you have this now. 3B plus 3A, right? These would be unlike terms because even though they have the same coefficients, right, their variables are different. And remember, for it to be a like term, they have to have the same variable. So 3b plus 3a cannot be added together, right? Let's say you had 3bx plus 5ax, right? These are still unlike terms because even though they have x in common, then b and a, they are different in the variables. So therefore, these are still unlike terms. All right, so let's go to solving equations with like and with like terms. So let's say you had 3x minus 22 is equal to 3 plus 4x, right? If you realize we have two like terms, but they are on different sides of the equation. But what we need to do is to get these terms, right, on one side. We can either choose to bring one over on the left side or on the right side, right? We're going to do both sides in this case just to show you. But first, I'm going to bring it over to the left side. So I'm going to choose to bring this 4x over to the left side where this 3x is. So to do that, we need to do the opposite of plus 4x, and that is to minus 4x. And it's an equation. What you do to one side, you do it to the other side. So 4x, positive 4x and negative 4x will cancel each other over here. So we're left with 3x minus 4x minus 22 is equal to 3. 3x minus 4x will leave us with negative x or negative 1x, right? Is equal negative 1x minus 22 is equal to 3. Now, what we need to do is to get rid of the number that's beside the x, right? And that is negative 22. So we do the opposite of negative 22, which is to add 22 to both sides. So therefore, we're left with negative 1x is equal to 22 plus 3, right? Would give us 25. So now we divide both sides by negative 1, and therefore x is equal to negative 25. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this the other way when we bring the x term to the right side instead of the left side. All right, so I'm going to bring this 3x to the right side with the 4x, right? So we need to do the opposite of plus 3x, which is minus 3x, right? So we're left with negative 22 is equal to 3 plus 4x minus 3x, right? So now, negative 22 would be equal to 3 plus 4x minus 3x will leave us with x, right? Or 1x. So I'm also going to write 1x. All right. So now, being that we're down to an equation, all right, we need to get rid of the number that's beside the term 1x, right? And that is 3. So minus 3 from both sides, right? So now we're left with negative 22 minus 3 is equal to 1x. And know that 1x is the same as x, right? So therefore, negative 22 minus 3 will give us negative 25. So negative 25 is equal to 1x. So that's our answer. And if you want to say like x is equal to negative 25 instead of 1x is equal to 25, well, as stated, 1x is the same as x, right? So we normally sometimes don't say 1x, but there's always a coefficient of 1 before x, because we say x because one time any number which you multiply by 1, you get it by itself, right? So 1 times x is x, right? That's why, for example, like when you have 2 times 1, right, we say 2. 3 times 1, 3. Any number you multiply by 1, you get it by itself. But if you say 1x, it's still not wrong. So this one states 2x plus 3 is equal to 6 minus x. So as we know, we need to get both we need to get both terms on one side, right? I'm going to choose the left side. So we need to do the opposite of minus x, which is to plus x, right? So we're left with 2x plus x plus 3 is equal to 6, right? As the negative and the positive x cancels each other. So 2x plus x will give us 3x plus 3 is equal to 6. We need to get rid of the number that's beside the term, and that is 3. So we're going to minus 3 from both sides, right? So we're left with 3x is equal to 6 minus 3, right? 6 minus 3 is 3, so 3x is equal to 3. Divide both sides by 3, right? And therefore, x is equal to 1. All right. For a final example, right, this one would be 7x minus 15 is equal to 3x plus 1. So I'm going to bring the terms on one side, right? Because that's what we need to do. So I plan to bring the terms on the left hand side. That means I'm going to do the opposite of positive 3x, which is minus 3x. So now we're left with 7x minus 3x minus 15 is equal to 1. 7x minus 3x will give us 4x minus 15 is equal to 1. So we need to do the opposite of minus 15 because we want to get rid of the number that's beside the term 4x. So we're going to add 15 to both sides, right? So now we're left with 4x is equal to 1 plus 15. Now 4x would give you would equal to 16 because 1 plus 15 gives you 16. So to get x by itself, we'll divide both sides by 4, and therefore x is equal to 4. So that's basically it with equations with like terms.